The December wind cuts through downtown Chicago like a blade, carrying the scent of snow and exhaust fumes. Sarah Martinez pulls her threadbare coat tighter around her shoulders, her breath forming small clouds in the frigid air. At 26, she looks older than her years, stress lines etching her face as she rocks a bundle in her arms. Inside the worn blanket, 3-month-old Emma sleeps peacefully, oblivious to their desperate situation. Sarah's eyes scan the stream of well-dressed professionals hurrying past Blackstone Industries' towering glass entrance. Each person represents hope, maybe someone who'll spare $1, maybe someone who'll see past the circumstances to the person she used to be. Just 6 months ago, she was a marketing coordinator with a cozy apartment and plans for the future. Now she's here, swallowing her pride as she holds a cardboard sign. Please help, new mum, lost job, anything helps. Her stomach growls, reminding her she hasn't eaten since yesterday morning. The baby formula is running low, and tonight's shelter has a waiting list. Sarah closes her eyes briefly, fighting back tears. Emma deserves better than this. She deserves everything Sarah can't provide right now. The massive glass doors of Blackstone Industries swing open, and David Chen emerges, his expensive suit crisp despite the long day. At 34, he's built an empire from nothing, but success hasn't softened the sharp edges of his ambition. His phone buzzes with another merger notification as he strides toward his waiting Tesla. Then he stops. Something about the young woman sitting against the building's wall catches his attention. Maybe it's the way she's positioned her body to shield the baby from the wind, or how she avoids eye contact with passing strangers, as if she's ashamed of her situation. David has walked past hundreds of people asking for help, but something feels different about this moment. He approaches slowly, noting the careful way she holds the infant. "Excuse me," he says softly, crouching down to her level. "Are you okay?" Sarah looks up, startled by the genuine concern in his voice. She expects judgment, maybe even security guards, but instead finds herself looking into kind brown eyes. We're managing," she whispers, her voice barely audible above the city noise. David notices the quality of her worn clothes. They were expensive once. Her speech patterns suggest education, refinement. This isn't someone who's lived on the streets for years. "How old is your baby?" he asks, his tone gentle. 3 months, Sarah replies, unconsciously tightening her hold on Emma. Her name is Emma. Something stirs in David's chest, a feeling he hasn't experienced in years. He thinks of his own childhood, the nights his single mother worked double shifts just to keep food on the table. "When did you last eat?" he asks. The question breaks something inside Sarah. Tears she's been holding back for days finally spill over. The baby needs formula more than I need food," she admits, her voice cracking with exhaustion and defeat. David pulls out his wallet, but then stops. Money alone won't solve this. He sees the intelligence in her eyes, the determination despite her circumstances. "What's your name?" he asks. "Sarah," she whispers. "Sarah Martinez." "Sarah, I'm David Chen, and I think we need to talk." David leads Sarah and Emma to a quiet cafe 3 blocks away, ignoring the curious stares from other patrons. As Sarah cradles a warm cup of coffee with shaking hands, David orders enough food for 3 people. "Please," he says when she protests, "for the baby's sake." Over the next hour, Sarah's story unfolds like pages from a book David never expected to read. She was a marketing coordinator at a tech startup, living a comfortable middle-class life with her boyfriend Marcus, When she discovered she was pregnant, Marcus disappeared overnight, leaving behind only a note saying he wasn't ready for that kind of responsibility. The pregnancy complications forced her to miss work, and the startup laid her off during their downsizing. I had some savings, Sarah explains, feeding Emma a bottle David insisted on buying. But medical bills, rent, groceries, it disappeared faster than I thought possible. I lost my apartment last month. David listens without interrupting, recognizing the shame in her voice. He remembers his own mother's pride, how she'd rather skip meals than ask for help. "What did you do before marketing?" he asks. "I have a degree in business administration from Northwestern," Sarah says, a ghost of her former confidence flickering in her eyes. "I graduated summa cum laude. I had plans, dreams." Her voice trails off as she looks down at Emma. "But I don't regret her. She's the best thing that ever happened to me." The sincerity in her voice hits David unexpectedly. He's surrounded by people who view children as obstacles to success. Yet here's a woman who lost everything and still speaks of her daughter as a blessing. "What if I told you I could offer you a job?" he says, suddenly. Sarah's eyes widen. I don't understand. You don't even know me." "I know enough," David replies, surprised by his own certainty. "You're educated, articulate, and clearly resourceful. My company needs someone in marketing coordination. The question is, are you willing to work hard to rebuild your life?" But Sarah's expression shifts to wariness. She's learned to be suspicious of offers that seem too good to be true. "What's the catch?" she asks. "Men don't just offer jobs to homeless women out of kindness." David feels a sting at her assumption, but he understands it. "The catch is that it's real work with real expectations. I'm not offering charity, I'm offering opportunity, but you'd need to prove yourself like anyone else." Over the following weeks, David finds himself checking in on Sarah more than he intended. He helps her find temporary housing through a program for working mothers and arranges for Emma to stay at the company's on-site childcare center. Sarah attacks her new role with fierce determination, arriving early and staying late, as if afraid the opportunity might vanish. But the arrangement creates tension David didn't anticipate. His board members whisper about his charity case, and Sarah overhears enough to know she's viewed as his pet project. The weight of proving herself becomes overwhelming, especially when Emma gets sick and Sarah has to miss 2 days of work. "Maybe this was a mistake," Sarah tells David during a late evening in the office. "People think I'm only here because you feel sorry for me. Maybe they're right." David sets down his pen and looks at her directly. "In the 6 weeks you've been here, you've increased our social media engagement by 40% and created the most successful campaign we've had all year. If that's what pity hires produce, I should feel sorry for more people." But Sarah's insecurity runs deeper than professional validation. "Why did you really help me, David? I need to understand." The question hangs in the air between them, loaded with implications neither is ready to address. 3 months later, Sarah stands in David's office holding an offer letter from a competitor, a senior marketing position with a salary nearly double what David pays her. Her hands tremble as she places it on his desk. "They're offering me everything I thought I wanted," she says, her voice barely steady. "Security, respect, a future for Emma." David stares at the letter, feeling something twist painfully in his chest. He's grown accustomed to Sarah's presence, to hearing Emma's laughter echoing from the childcare center, to the way Sarah challenges his ideas with thoughtful alternatives. Somewhere along the way, his feelings evolved beyond professional respect. "You should take it," he says quietly, though the words feel like glass in his throat. "It's a good opportunity." Sarah searches his face, looking for something she can't name. Is that what you really want? The question breaks the careful professional stance they've maintained. David stands, walking to the window overlooking the street where he first found her. What I want doesn't matter. This is about what's best for you and Emma. Don't I get a say in what's best for us? Sarah's voice carries a strength that wasn't there 6 months ago. David, you saved our lives, but somewhere along the way, you became more than our savior. You became... She pauses, the unspoken word hanging between them. Tell me to stay, she whispers. Not as your employee, not out of obligation, but because you want us in your life. David turns from the window, his carefully constructed walls finally crumbling. I want you to stay, he says, his voice raw with honesty. Not because you need saving, not because I feel guilty, but because I've fallen in love with your strength, your determination, and yes, with you. Sarah's breath catches. David, I know it's complicated, he continues, stepping closer. I know people will say I took advantage, that you felt obligated, but I also know that what I feel for you is real. And I hope, you feel something too. Sarah reaches for his hand, her fingers intertwining with his. I fell in love with the man who saw past my circumstances to who I really was, she admits. The man who gave me a chance to rebuild not just my career, but my self-respect. David pulls her close, and for the first time in months, Sarah allows herself to truly believe in a future filled with possibility. We'll face the whispers together, he promises. We'll prove that what we have is real. And Emma? Sarah asks, though she already knows the answer from the way David's face lights up whenever her daughter is near. Emma is part of you, which makes her part of us, David says simply. If you'll have me, I want to be the father she deserves, and the partner you need. Outside, snow begins to fall, but inside, warmth fills the space between them. 2 years later, Sarah stands in the same office, but everything has changed. The view from the window shows a bustling company that now includes a full childcare centre and programs for working parents. Initiatives she spearheaded. Emma, now a chattering toddler, sits in the corner playing with blocks, occasionally running to Daddy David for hugs. Sarah wears a simple gold band that catches the afternoon light as she reviews the quarterly reports. The marketing department she now heads has tripled in size, and her innovative campaigns have earned industry recognition. But the numbers on the page aren't what make her smile. Mama, look! Emma toddles over with a tower of blocks, her face beaming with pride. That's beautiful, sweetheart, Sarah says, scooping her daughter into a hug. Through the glass partition, she sees David in a meeting, his eyes meeting hers with the same warmth that first drew her to him. The woman who once sat outside this building begging for help no longer exists, replaced by someone stronger, more confident, and deeply loved. Sarah learned that accepting help isn't weakness. It's the foundation for rebuilding strength. David discovered that true success isn't measured in profits alone, but in the lives you touch and the love you allow into your heart. Their story proves that sometimes the most unexpected encounters lead to the most beautiful destinations, and that everyone deserves a second chance at happiness. What's your second chance story? Share it in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring real-life transformations.